Live is on.
Hi, everyone. It's a pleasure to see you today for the 9th edition of SIGEF. This edition is a special edition prior to the G20, which is happening this year in Saudi Arabia on 20 and 21st of November. And we are going with many colleagues that will be sharing their insights, going to outline how we can build and advance sustainability for the 21st century. So first of all, let me welcome our keynote for this opening remarks with the Director General Vincent Subilia from Geneva, that is leading many organizations, including the Chamber of Commerce of Geneva, as well as many diplomatic bodies, and is as well a member of the Geneva Parliament. Vincent, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much indeed, Mr. Chairman, Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen. It is a true pleasure and a real honor to voice these opening remarks on a bright day from sunny Geneva, Switzerland. Switzerland and Geneva is not only the birthplace of Horyou and the cradle of SIGEF, but it also stands as the capital of global governance, including in the health space, since it is home, as you know, to the WHO. This global village stands as a stronghold of multilateralism, a much scarce and needed resource in these unprecedented times of the pandemic. A time where all actors of goodwill, be it from the private or the public sector, must join forces to wage this historic battle against the virus. Crafting a better tomorrow, conversely, imposes to advance on our sustainability agenda. Hence, the very timely topic of this 9th edition of SIGEF. Sustainability is key. And the pandemic is a blunt reminder of this. And here again, Geneva stands as the fabric of the SDGs and plays a critical role in that respect. So does Horyou in echoing the voice of active sustainability. And so does the G20, presided by Saudi Arabia, which fiercely advocates a greener and more inclusive tomorrow, and therefore constitutes an invaluable leverage on the world stage. The Geneva Chamber of Commerce has been defending and promoting the corporate world and the Geneva business community, including its 2,500 corporate members, for over 155 years. It is also a pioneer in sustainability, both ecologically and socially. And we actively plead the SDGs, including in particular SDG number 17, which is the partnership for good between the private and the public sector. Our companies in Switzerland have long understood that economy and ecology share the common same roots, i.e. eco, our home in ancient Greek. Our home, our house, which is under fire and which we all need to protect. In this literally extraordinary times that we're living, I would like to praise the resilience and the agility of our companies. Together, we will defeat COVID and grow stronger. The crisis in that respect will be an accelerator, not only digitally, but also on the path of sustainability. We will have, together, collectively, to prove more sustainable in our business model, because there is no other option. With these words, I wish you a very fruitful SIGEF 2020 and above all, good health. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your attention.
Well, Vincent, thank you very much for your words and sharing vision. What we have seen over the last few months is an amazing partnership, solidarity in Switzerland, but as well around the world. And you have been instrumental in that aspect on many regards. Vincent, if you have just I would say a word of vision with our international audience. As we know, the times are very challenging for many. What will be a message, the message of hope you could, empower us?
With pleasure, Mr. Chairman, dear Jonathan. Well, I think we need to very humbly admit that the only certainty that we have so far is that there is no certainty. We don't have the crystal ball. There is no magic stick. But we all need to act on a best effort basis. And there will be light at the end of the tunnel. And I'm also here to convey a message of trust. We see some major milestones being achieved on the vaccine front. No later than yesterday, news were made in that respect. That also includes Switzerland, because one of the vaccine will be manufactured here. And I think this is certainly the way out of this crisis. It won't prevent us in the meantime and going forward also to ensure that all sanitary measures are being duly respected. And above all, it should not deprive us from running a more forward-thinking process in questioning the very roots of the pandemic, the reasons why these viruses are spreading and will be more actively spreading in the future. And this is also why sustainability, that also means biodiversity, for instance, needs to be more effectively implemented to prevent the unprecedented costs from a sanitary perspective, of course, because the pandemic is a tragedy, but also economically. Again, this is a time of war. We will wage it. We will succeed. It will take time, but let us all remain optimistic. And let us seize this unique opportunity to work together. A divided world is not an answer to such a challenge. There is some hopes in terms of cooperation coming from the other side of the Atlantic, if I may. There will be more hope, hopefully, with the G20 working together actively to craft solutions for a better world. You're all part of the solution. We are all part of the solutions. We have an instrumental role to play. Let our voice be heard in that respect. And let us put the virus over and resume what we do, what's in the DNA of a Chamber of Commerce, i.e. to have the entrepreneurship spirit crafting a better tomorrow for us all. Thank you, Jonathan.
Dear Director General Vincent, that's very empowering message. And we know you are, with all your team, doing your best to protect and preserve the economic network of entrepreneurs and entrepreneurship, in this very challenging period. From that angle, and that's the aim of this special G20 edition of SIGEF, what might be your recommendation formulated for the governments around the world, based on your experience of striving your best for protecting and preserving and growing economic, development, and at the same time, including what you mentioned earlier, which is the fundamental aspect of sustainability and inclusion.
Thank you, Jonathan. Well, I would not dare to issue recommendations very modestly, but again, as I mentioned, we navigate in a very complex world, and these are uncharted territories. So I would urge our decision makers on the political front to really uphold the goodwill of our people and to make sure that the common good be preserved. Again, that could sound as a very declaratory remark, but what it means is that we need to act in all respects of our differences to really find solutions. One example of it being the COVAX initiative, which is led by the WHO here in Geneva, which allowed for most of the powerful nations, the ones with some notable exceptions, unfortunately, that are gathering under the G20 banner, to work towards a vaccine that could be accessible to the vast majority of the people across the globe. This is the kind of initiative that showed a level of solidarity which is being requested by the crisis. Because again, I believe there are two key lessons to be taken away at this stage from the pandemic. The first one, of course, is sustainability. That also echoes proximity. We will have to work on these proximity factors. Also make sure, and again, I am a liberal and therefore a strong believer in multilateralism and in the theory of Ricardo, for instance. But I still believe that the pandemics will make us aware of the necessity to ensure that to the extent possible, we can grow our economy locally. So sustainability. And then, as I mentioned, solidarity, which is also a token of fraternity. We've witnessed here in Geneva and across the globe so many valuable human-centered initiatives that have again come across the borders of nations, religions, political divides. This is what we need today. There is no time for a division. The sole purpose that we need to pursue, and thank you for Horyou to be claiming this, is unity. And while we all appreciate that there are major differences between the G20 nations, at least I would commend on them, if I may, to find that common ground that will allow for a brighter tomorrow. Today, the priority is to fight the virus. Tomorrow, the priority will be to rebuild our societies, and in particular our economy, that have been very severely affected. And for this, we need a common efforts, and the G20 is the perfect forum to lead that effort. And I'm delighted, speaking from Switzerland, that our country be also associated to this. And I hope that Geneva in the future can play an even stronger role as a capital of global governance. Thank you to SIGEF. Thank you for Horyou to have chosen Geneva as its base. And again, have a very fruitful SIGEF 2020. Make sure that your voice be heard beyond our borders.
Vincent Subilia, thank you very much for those inspiring words. Unity, solidarity, proximity, and courage, I understand as well, you know, in your intervention. Thank you very much, and see you soon for next edition, Vincent. You are a long advocator of sustainability, innovation, and ethics with us. So thank you for your contribution today. Thank you, Vincent.
Thank you for having me, and a great conference to you all. Take good care.
Thank you.